How's the coffee poop?
I am clean on the inside.
Perfect.
Perfectly clean.
Today's gonna be a great day. We can just throw this board in the trash.
Get out of here, unvest board.
Today, we are doing something very special. We've got one, we've got two.
Oh, be careful with those. Be careful with those.
Well, you know, we can bang them out a little bit more than a future motion board because it's a VESC!
Oh, shit!
And actually, it's a FOCer.
What did you just call me?
Yeah. So we're about to FOC our boards up today. And as you can see, we've got 4 of these Maker's PEV boxes. Now we're not using all of this stuff today, but today starts a journey where Pushback Army goes and FOCs their boards. We're gonna FOC the FOC out of our FOCing boards. Shout out to Maker's PEV. They're sending us these and we are gonna be documenting this entire process. Now, personally, I don't know about Taylor, but Taylor's gonna be FOCing his board as well. I'm gonna be FOCing my board. I've stayed as dumb to this subject as possible up until today. So we're gonna go into this and all of the questions that maybe some of you noobs have, or anyone who's maybe like kind of experimented, like, oh, I'm seeing people flip their boards around and ride dark side, and what's all this VESC stuff, and who's Maker's PEV, and what's a FOCer? We're about to dive into all of that today. And so, starting today, we're heading over to Flight Fins. We're gonna work with our expert, Jake. Whalecat, meow! Yeah, he's gonna be walking us through this, so we've got a little bit of help. We're not just kind of going into this blindsided. It's not like when I changed a tire. Like, I don't know if you saw that video where I was like using a skate tool to pry it off my GT. Today we're going into it with the feedback from experts, but we want to make sure we document all of this and make it as fun as possible. So, without further ado, Taylor, I think we should
Get the fuck out of here. What's up? Yo! Bro.
Who's this guy?
Oh, what's up?
Who is this man?
You want some candy?
I want some candy. What kind of candy we got there?
Some flight snacks.
Ooh, flight snack. I like it. The man, the myth, the legend.
What up, what up?
What do we have here? We have a thing. I actually have 4 of these things. I don't know which box this is. Let's see here. That's Christian's, actually. We're gonna go get the rest of them, but we figured we would get one in here at least. And get the introduction. Who's this guy?
Whalecat.
Wow! Jake, how many of these have you done now?
Like 6? Yeah, like 6.
6 back? So, Jake, you can see all of our parts and everything we have. Does it look like we have everything we need?
Yep, looks good.
We're gonna have a good day today. Everything will
One
get.
thing left to do before we start this off.
There we go.
Let the VESC wars begin! All right, so right now we are starting with all like bare bones parts here, right? We got a
Yep.
box,
Got a FOCer.
which you can get from makerspv.com, and you can send it to this guy right here, and he'll just build it all for you. And so we're gonna put all these parts, this guy right here.
Start out putting connectors in.
Okay,
I usually just slap these ones in first. So you'll take these screws
okay.
out, screwdriver for it. And the boxes are slotted where the connectors go in, so you can't put it in wrong.
Okay, does this stay on the inside?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Slide it in and then just install your screws in. Don't put them in super tight, just snug and then a little bit past.
Okay.
Now what connector is this?
This is just your 6-pin Molex connector.
Now, when people are first putting this together, do they need to be careful not to like touch metal or like be careful about static electricity as they're putting it together?
With the FOCer in hand, be a little mindful, but you really only have to worry about like touching metal and stuff like that when you have hooked up to power, when your battery's plugged in.
Okay.
Obviously be like as gentle as you can like while you're
Right.
putting it together and everything, just so you don't, because like there's a lot of like really tiny resistors on there and stuff that are pretty easy to break off if you're not careful.
But once it's in here and it's on top of here, you can take drops of this just fine?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. This is flush up against there, pretty snug.
Okay.
What's next?
So then you're gonna throw this one in, which would be the same deal pretty much. You'll take those
Right in
screws
this
out.
area?
Yep, right in there.
Perfect.
And what connector is this?
This is your, I think it's like a 24-pin Molex. It's the other Molex connector. Like your battery power runs into it. If you had a BMS, like your data wires, any like your charge wires would go into that connector.
Oh, this one's a little bit more of a, there we go. Wow.
Yeah, it's a tighter fit.
I believe, but also
I have full faith in you.
struggling right now. It's like doesn't want to fit past this piece right here. Oh my gosh. I'm afraid I'm gonna break something. Okay.
Now, out of the 6 you've done, have you done any where you're like doing it from fresh box, like the bring your own housing?
Mine technically was because as soon as I got it, I pulled it all out of the stock housing and put it into one of the resin housings.
Oh, hey there. We interrupt this programming to let you know that if you're going to install a resin box, don't. They're, how can we put this nicely? Breakable. And we've been experimenting with them, really seeing that they don't work the greatest, especially for those hardcore shredders out there. Instead, maybe print one out of ABS, like this box. We're going to be testing with those, or find yourself an aluminum box. Now, back to our normally scheduled programming where you'll see this beautiful resin box installed. But if you're installing one, don't install a resin box.
Nice, got it.
Shout out Mitch Biscuit for printing this. He was like, what color do you want it? And I'm like, I want something kind of orange because my board is kind of orange. And he was like, done, here you go. Which is funny because you're not even going to see this. It's inside of the board. But
See, like-
whatever, it's cool.
See, like just the handle of it, just enough to know that it's orange.
Yeah, all right. Looks good? Flush
Yep,
against
you got
there?
them snug.
Okay.
Next one we're gonna do is your hall sensor.
Okay.
Take the ring nut.
Okay.
They haven't quite got it yet.
This is, it's got a flat side
Okay.
on it, and you'll slide it. And it really doesn't matter which one of these you put it into, you just gotta remember.
Okay, we're gonna put Hall on the left side.
Okay.
Or this would be the right side, sorry. Hall on the right side. Is it supposed to go all the way?
You have to spin it around. There's a flat spot you'll have to find right where it'll.
It's okay, I'm just struggling.
And it's all on camera, so perfect. You can let the people of the universe know the struggle.
Let's see.
My threads are getting in the way.
Let's
Where
see.
that first initial bump is.
There we
Okay,
go.
so you just gotta give it.
Yeah.
All
Gotta
right,
give
so
it a
you
little,
can-
give it a little love, and then slide that ring nut over.
Is it flat part against, I'm assuming, round
Yes.
part out? Gotcha. Alright,
You can take those,
Okay.
snug that up a little bit more.
okay.
What is the typical tool set that someone's going to need for a project like this?
So you'll need, like, if you're building off of an XR, you'll need like your basic XR tools, a Phillips head screwdriver, and I like to have a set of needle nose pliers for the ring nuts just because they're slim, easy to get in there.
Who knows?
That's really about it. That's all you need.
Let me know if that's on there enough.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
I scratched my box.
Throw it away.
Throw it away, start over.
Being tested again. Same
I
with
mean,
your,
I'm gonna do, alright,
with your foot pad connector.
Yeah, I gotcha. I watched the stripped data video where he switched them on accident, and he was like, why won't this work?
Yeah, it happens to me a lot too, where I'll get the vest fully put together, I'm going to configure it, and then I look and I see that the foot pad, both the sensors are like fluctuating voltages, and I'm like, gotta swap those connectors real quick. Which is not a big deal because luckily, if you're using the XR motor harness, the motor cable was made to go all the way across anyway, so you have a long wire for the hall sensor connector.
Got it.
There we go, I felt that, okay. I'm pressing too hard. Oh my gosh. As you can tell, I don't normally build stuff like this. I will get this. I just want to now, I want to get it unstuck from there.
That spot's tough.
We just cut to like the SpongeBob 2 hours later.
2 hours later.
All right, good to go?
Yep.
Sweet. That feels pretty snug to me.
Cool. Next one's gonna be your power switch.
Assuming that goes on this side.
Yep.
Okay. Does this go in through this way?
Yep.
Okay. And it looks like this. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Okay. This way.
And then eventually, before we put the lid all together on this, is the reason I have the hot glue gun out. Those metal ring nuts for the power switch and for the charge port, we're gonna hot glue just so they don't walk themselves out and end up shorting out.
So potentially a secondary tool that someone should have on hand would be
A hot glue gun. At least a hot glue stick and a lighter if you don't have a hot glue gun.
in your experience, like these coming straight out the box, how weather resistant are these, or what should you do if you want to make them weather resistant?
I'd probably silicone the whole top of it and maybe even consider, especially if it's 3D printed, spraying the whole thing in Flex Seal.
We replaced the bottom of this boat with a screen door and covered it in Flex Seal.
A little coating of Flex Seal or like some sort of like silicone spray to try and seal it a little bit more, because I'm pretty sure a lot of 3D print stuff is still like absorbent. You can get water through it.
I think this is on good enough. I'm gonna check that for me. I'm trying to be real careful of these things.
Yeah, you're good.
Perfect. All right.
Cool.
My switch is in. Now, quick question for those. If this accidentally gets pushed in during the process and you plug it in, is it bad?
No,
Okay.
not really. Mitch Biscuits was on when I caught me by surprise for a second.
All right, this one should be super easy to put in. There's nothing blocking it yet.
Now, order of operations wise, when you're putting these things in, is there any particular way the wires need to sit or anything like that? Like if you wanted to put the power in the thing in?
No, really, you can install, when you're putting the box together, you can install that in any order you want. All of these sit far enough away from each other right now that you don't have to worry about any sort of cable management until you actually get the FOCer hooked up. This box isn't lid mounted, so you have these posts right here that get in the way. So cable management gets a little tricky with this style, but with the lid mounted style, you can kind of get lazy with cable management if you want.
Now, with the cable management side of things, does that matter in the terms of, like, is there a way that the cable should sit in the box or the thing should sit in the box for vibration, impact, that kind of like resistance, or no?
No, not any of the cables. Really, the only thing that has to be mounted securely in the box is the FOCer, and once you get it with the thermal pad and the lid, it like gets pressed down a little bit more.
You guys couldn't tell I am super focused right now.
In his zone.
Look at the shirt. Did you got the shirt made?
Dude,
Everything?
oh yeah, got the whale cat shirts.
Can I get one of these?
Yeah, can we get one of those?
They will be available soon. Will be available
Now,
soon.
we have a question that everyone's been dying to know. What sound does a whale cat make? Which is a good guess, but we don't remember. We don't know.
I don't even know what does a
Definitely
male
like
cat.
a-
It's like a It's like
It's not like a...
no, it's more pathetic. It's a more pathetic noise.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I got you.
Somewhere between a meow and like the whale noise, I feel like, but the kind of like disgruntled cat that like it's like that sort of, but it's like.
It sounds like a cat fight.
Let's say somebody wants to just have this done for them, right? Or they either want to buy a complete box or they want to buy the bring your own housing kit and send that over to you. Do you have like, what's that look like? How do they get a hold of you, like to figure that out?
You can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram account's whalekatrepairs. Feel free to DM me on there. Message me on Facebook for now. So you got everything in there right now.
This looks good.
So now you can plug these
Slide in.
into each
So
other.
Plug these into each other?
Yep.
Okay. Look at me.
That scared me.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't you ever do that to me again.
Next thing we got to do is size the thermal pad.
So you will also need an X-Acto knife probably, or a pair of scissors.
Yeah. Scissors would probably be better, but I'm gonna use an exact. Actually, this. I love these things. I love these things. Don't laugh at them.
Dude, those things are great.
Don't laugh at them.
4 or 5 pairs.
Yeah.
hurt my fingers terribly with them. I keep those on hand every time we've done like a big audio engineering job. Just cutting all the cables and whatnot with them.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Now, what is this thing?
The thermal pad. So it's basically what sets right here, right on top of all of these bad boys to keep them cool. It just absorbs heat and then transfers it into the lid.
Now the computer nerd in me has to ask, can you use thermal paste?
I doubt it. That would get really, really messy. Look out, I have a knife. Usually just go the full size of the FOCer and then kind of give it like a little kink so I know where to cut at on each side.
Now what kind of kink does it have?
Oh,
Is it like feet or is it like something respectable?
it's feet.
Are you starting an OnlyVests?
Only vests.
You can find Whalecat at onlyvests.com. Please find that domain.
Onlyvest.com, onlyfocker.com.
Onlyfoc.com.
Onlyfoc.com, yes.
That's size, so we can set this aside for now.
Okay.
Here we go.
So we sized it, so we're gonna set it aside.
Now the size didn't really have to be exact, right? Just kind of like cover the whole.
Yeah, it kind of just has to cover these, honestly.
Now does it matter if you're touching any of these things, like getting grease on?
You just want to, like hold it at the sides. Don't like go all barbaric grabbing these resistors, because you can like see all of these little tiny parts right here are all like, if that breaks off, it's probably not going to work. And then you'll need to either replace that part or find somebody that knows how to replace that part. Alright,
Okay.
so now
What's next?
we're gonna set this in. This is gonna go, so these 3 phase wires
Yes.
are gonna go right here.
And they go in order like this?
It doesn't matter
It doesn't
how they
matter?
go. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as they're plugged in.
So the 3 wires that he's plugging in right now into that, what pin connector was that again?
That's the 6-pin Molex connector for the phase wires.
And they don't matter what order they go.
Nope. If anything, it'll just invert your motor direction, and you can just change that in the vest cap.
Sorry, the struggle is real.
So there's so many things that are so configurable within just the vest gap after you've got it.
Yep. Everything. You can change like almost everything that you could possibly think to change on your Onewheel in the vest cap.
Okay, sir. You looking good?
Yep, those are pretty good.
Okay.
So now I'm just gonna set that like that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna plug your Hall sensor in, and it goes
It's like a 6-pin.
into, I think it's this one right here.
This guy?
That your
Okay.
Hall sensor goes into.
So, quick question for those who might not know. If this gets plugged into the wrong place, is there a chance that you fry the board? Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
Dumb ways to die.
Is this right?
Yeah, you
Is
can
this key
just
dial?
grab it like right there and give it a little
here?
pinch. Yeah. There you
There we
go.
Okay.
Now you're gonna plug your foot pad connector in, which goes to that one right there.
That one right there?
Yep.
Alright, that looks like it's in there all the way.
Okay. There's only one
There's only
3-pin
one
left.
3-pin,
Yeah, it goes
yeah.
right there.
Now Jake, what are you taking a look at right here?
So I'm just looking at a little FOCer pinout.
And what is that? Like a diagram?
Yeah, it's like the pin diagram, so it tells you, let me get a better picture of it pulled up for you. So it's literally just that picture right there that I'm looking at, and then each one of these connectors shows like what it is. So you have like Hall 1, 2, and 3 right there, foot pad connector. You know, like this is your power switch right there. It tells you exactly what each pin's for right there, so you know where to plug everything into.
Just to recap, we have our power to here, our Hall to here, and what was this?
Foot pad.
Your foot pad connector to there.
Yep.
Okay?
You get your phase wires hooked up. Cool. So now you want to run that all the way back
Okay.
and through. So it's gonna end up, yeah, it's gonna end up like around right where it is, kind of, but
Okay, but this needs to go through here like that?
yeah.
Okay, now, okay.
So now this is where, with this,
Bunch of cables, it gets a little tricky.
yeah, with the not lid mounted version, it gets a little tricky.
So we
You
got-
have to get,
these three.
yeah, you have to get all these cables set
Okay.
and tucked down in a
this-
way that they won't get pinched.
So this is gonna go back through here, yes? These
Yeah.
cables? Okay. This is where I'm getting a little uneasy.
So what we'll do real quick, just
Yeah.
to get this out of the way.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so this needs to run through here as well.
Yep.
Okay, and then
This you can take over here. You're gonna have a lot of extra play,
room there.
so you can like tuck this right here.
so these cables here are gonna go over and back. Is that all right? Because you're kind of creating like a hard pinch right here. It almost seems.
Where are
like.
you?
These cables right here. These are gonna have to go this way and back, or they can sit out here.
Go just like that.
Okay. So let me press these over. This is where the patience comes in, yeah.
Yeah, patience, and you got to be like non-barbaric at this
Now
point.
This hanging on here.
You're gonna tuck that down and under.
Here. Okay, so let's go like this.
And now the box he has printed right now. That's from like what, Thingiverse? Like,
Thingiverse.
Thingiverse, yeah. So there's 2 versions. You can get this version, which has the post in the middle, and it's for the non-lid mount version. Or you could get the lid mount version box, which doesn't have those posts. It's just like an open box with like all that real estate for your wires, and your vest mounts to like lid posts right there. Just nuts secure it to the top of the lid.
Now what's the benefit of one versus the other?
I think the lid mount was, I know that They switched to that just because it's a little more secure. You have like 3 or 4 nuts actually securing the FOCer to something so it can't move, but also you get a lot more room. It's a lot easier to put the box back together, a lot easier to take it apart.
So these are gonna get tucked in here too, correct? These wires? Like
Yeah,
over here?
but this is gonna go
Back more.
over this way.
Over this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can pull, you'll have more room here, so you can pull these phase wires out and like wrap them around this side a little bit,
So I should
around
bring
here
some
if you
out
want. No, you no, so like you could lift this up
Okay.
and take these and kind of like bring them back here a little bit.
Oh, I see.
You know what I
I
mean?
see what you mean. Okay.
Those don't have to be tucked over. It's just all the stuff that's like right in the middle just has to be tucked in so you don't pinch the wires, obviously.
Real quick, let me show you what I'm looking at right here. This right back here. See how these are sitting on top of that wire?
Yeah.
Those are sitting on top of this black wire. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those wires aren't going to want to stay. You got to get it and get it.
So this are these transistors, are they going past these posts here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Past the post.
Okay, so I can pull this over. I'm so scared right now.
So is this easier, like for this, let's say this non-lid mount version right here, is it easier to stuff the cables into the other version?
Yeah. We wouldn't be doing this right now. We wouldn't be fighting like this right now.
So for all of those people out there who want to build this and they don't want to struggle like Taylor's struggling right now, make sure that you print the other version. Which version was that? Like does it specify the difference?
They'll say right on there like non-lid mount or lid mounted version, and I think even on the non-lid mounted version now, they like have like a little description. It's like in bold, like this isn't the most recent file for this, and then have like a link to the lid mounted one.
Okay.
All right, so now it's good.
Okay.
It's everything is cable managed to the point of where it's going to fit. So
Okay.
now we just need to bring it over to there so we can plug this hot glue gun in and hot glue those ring nuts so that they don't short anything out. Back in like June, we posted on Makers PV's page a picture of, it was like he made like a PSA. It's like, just so everybody knows, we should start hot gluing these ring nuts because the ring nut shorted out and it's like, I mean, it shorted out right in the controller box. If you get the fully assembled one, they hot glue it already right there. It's like all ready to go, so you don't have to worry about that if you get the fully assembled one.
And where it's in the box? Is that?
Yeah, it's that ring nut there and that ring nut right there. If that just happens to like short out, mess around and touch the phase wire or something, like there's voltage there that'll short. If that happens to like loosen and somehow walk its way towards like one of these pins, it'll short out or anything. So there's a lot.
So make sure you have a hot glue gun and get the thing done. If you're doing the BYOH, otherwise it should be taken care of in your fully done box.
Yeah, the fully built housings are super straightforward. Just lay a nice bead of hot glue across there.
So that bead of glue goes right on.
Yeah, just right on the edge of the ring nut. And then you'll bring some down. Just like that. So now, basically we just have to put the thermal pad onto here. You can just keep your finger there if you want for a sec. Now you just take, let's see how they have this thermal pad.
Down there anytime.
You can lift it up. I'm just gonna stick this on there. We'll push it back down in a sec.
Okay.
Make sure those are seated on all 6 of those. This pad's just like seated on all 6 of those pretty good. Peel the other backing.
So is that sticky or not?
It's like kinda, yeah, tacky. Let's try it. Slap that bad boy on.
So now we're putting on, what is this? Is the gasket?
Yep, gasket for the lid.
I hear like random clicks when he pushes it down. I'm just like, oh.
Take one of these and get straight down screwdriver.
So if we learned anything so far, it's just buy the fully assembled one.
Let's hear the expert Whalecat's opinion on this. On a scale to 1 to 10, what skill level would you say for someone who wants to bring your own housing?
5 or a 6, depending on if you have the lid mount and if you have the right tools to do it in the first place. if you have like previous DIY knowledge, if you know kind of like how things work, if you put a couple things together before. Tough part now is just getting that foam gasket lined up and on all the sides. The gasket will need pulled forward a little bit here when you do these ones, but
How would you go about pulling that forward?
okay.
Okay.
So now these self-tapping Phillips head screws
Okay,
are gonna go in all of the punched holes.
Okay.
And then these screws right here
Okay.
go from the bottom up through these holes
And
with
those little things go on.
these lock nuts.
Okay.
I got a question for you. On my box, right here, we go to these done for you boxes, right? When they had sent this one at the one point, come across versus Christians, which they a more recent ones, you can see they have like some hot glue on these nuts here.
On these.
They don't have it on mine. Is there a purpose?
Same purpose that they put not really for shorting out, but the same purpose they put it on the ring nuts as well. They just end up walking themselves off. It looks like they might have changed the style on this new one here to a nylon lock nut.
Got it.
So that'll probably fix the issue for that. But yeah, just these nuts like that end up walking themselves off. So we'll put hot glue on that one before we end up putting it together.
If you don't have the nylon ones, which they should be like those lock nuts that he's working with, definitely make sure you hot glue those so
Yeah.
they'll be scooting around.
Real quick, you said these are the guys that go up to the bottom?
Yep,
correct?
up to the bottom.
What about biggest mistake you've seen so far, either somebody else make or even just yourself?
Yeah, so if you don't have the IMU configured right, it'll do some crazy shit.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
The last one I was working on, I was just configuring it real fast. It was already late in the afternoon. Customer was waiting. So I was configuring it real fast and I went to test it and I stupidly forgot to input in the 90-degree yaw offset that the little FOCer 3.1s need. And I got down on my hands and knees and went to activate it. And it shot off full send at those shelves and like knocked everything off of it, knocked like all the shelves out of it. It sounded like there was an earthquake in here. That was probably the dumbest mistake I've made with the most consequence.
So location-wise, if you're gonna do this project, should you do it in your living room?
No, I would like,
Outside.
yeah, like in a garage or like away from your car. Anything that you want to like, anything you don't want to potentially be hit, you don't want to be near it.
So a daycare facility?
Yeah, you might, in the daycare facility might be the best place to configure your board.
Taylor's hardware technical capabilities are leveling up. He's gone from a level 1 to a 2, maybe?
Yeah, we'll go with that. I mean, I know how to put together, I've put together computers and looked at the insides of drones and stuff. So a little bit. A little bit.
Dab pick for the win.
It took me a second to realize what you were saying.
You know, that's
We're gonna
tough.
tighten
Is
up.
that- if I'm-
These ones you can go until they stop. You make the threads on these. And these screws won't cut through solid resin. You can only thread through, like you see, like those little holes.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
only go to there, so you just thread till you stop on
Okay,
these.
Okay. I can keep. You want me to hit
They're
some
pretty
more?
solid. I think I got them all.
Oh, you got them all?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
We
now
have
we
a
can.
fully
yeah.
assembled.
Yeah.
This is a fully assembled FOCer.
Printed enclosure, the
Printed
version
enclosure.
that, what is the version again?
Like the OG version, I guess is what they would
he's got
call
the
it.
OG, he's got the orange.
You can see its brain.
She's been built.
Brain is in
Ready
there.
to go.
All right, now comes probably the less fun part.
Tear down.
You gotta take that thing apart.
Tear down.
Yo, I'm gonna need your help with putting this back together to know what screws go where.
You don't have clips. I like that. I like your style.
Now I can put the battery back together.
Yep.
I am speed.